Hello YouTube land, it's Debbie from the Canadian Crocheter. I'm in this position right now because I want to show you what I made, and then I'm going to take it off and we'll talk about it. So this is a hoodie. Let's see, I'm going to stand back. It's a hoodie. Alright, now I'm going to talk about it in a second. Okay, the lighting, it's an issue. It's always an issue. Back to the hoodie. Alright, so the reason that I made this hoodie was because I came across this pattern on Yarnspirations. It's a free pattern, and it's called the Bernat Handicrafter Cotton Bernat Satin Hoodie. It's free, it's easy. Over here it says 2 out of 4 bars as far as how hard it is, how difficult it is. I found it easy, so in my opinion, I think an adventurous newbie can pull this off. Okay, I found it easy. The hardest part, honestly, is seaming all the pieces together. So you have the front, the back, the 2 sleeves, and the hood. And you crochet them separately, and then you seam them together. I believe it's all half double crochet. It's really quite easy to follow. Like I said, the hardest part is the seaming. It's my least favorite, and I think it's probably because I'm not good at it. So, but I gotta practice, right? Anyway, so I'm very, very pleased with this. Now, if you've been here any length of time, you'll know that kitchen cotton's not my favorite, but I had 3 of these big hanks or skeins, and I used 2 and a little bit of 1. So I used it up, and it reminds me of an outdoorsy kind of work sweater, and I have washed it. When I first made it, it was very, very stiff, but I've washed it, so it's gotten softer since then, but it's still a little stiff. So I think that after 3 or 4 washings, it's gonna get butterier, more buttery, more buttery, more buttery. I think it's gonna get much softer. So this is gonna be an outside working hoodie. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how this turned out. Except if I ever make it again, I did, believe it or not, make a gauge swatch. I wanted to show you guys, but I can't find it. It's here somewhere. And I got gauge using the exact hook that they recommended, which is a 5mm. And as you saw, it is very big. Or maybe that's the way you wear it. I don't know. So and I made a size medium. So if I were to make it again, I'm just gonna go down a size and make a small, and we'll see. And I'll make it a little longer. I found it a little on the short side. I'd like it a little longer. So I'm very pleased with this. I loved how it was easy. It really was. And I think it's all half double crochet. And they give you the split on the side, which is fabulous. So got that done. So I highly recommend this pattern. So I was looking for ways to use up the rest of this, and I was on Instagram one night scrolling, and I came across, what's her name? It's called the Kitchen Sink Shop, and she's having a year of dishcloths. Now I believe they're all knit. As long as you sign up to her newsletter, you'll get this email once a month with the free dishcloth pattern. And look, that's the first one. Oh, come on. It's the Icicles dishcloth. So yeah, I'm gonna try it, right? I made it. Now, obviously I made a boo-boo here. Here, it's a pretty big boo-boo. I don't know what I did wrong. Now, the pattern calls for this kitchen cotton using a 3.25mm needle, but I can't find my needles, and all I could find was a 5mm needle. So I used that, and it's a little loose. You can see lots of gaps and whatnot. But overall, I'm happy with it. I get to practice. So when I find my needles, I'm gonna make another one in 3.25. So I'm quite happy with that. But I will leave the link for the Kitchen Sink Shop's Instagram account, and all you have to do is sign up for her newsletter, and you'll get an email once a month with a new pattern, new dishcloth pattern. So yay! I'm happy about that. What else have I been doing? I've been trying to use up, okay, so when I had to pack up all my yarn, I was kind of overwhelmed. And yeah, so I didn't label things properly. So I have boxes and boxes, and we're talking big boxes of yarn. All the boxes just say yarn. I have no idea what's in them. Right now I don't have the room to open them all up and display them. So what I've decided to do is make it into a game. I will open up a box, and whatever's in there, I have to use or try to make projects out of what's in that box. And it just happens that the first box that I opened was what I call scrap box. And to me, scrap boxes are not necessarily scraps. It could be little pieces that I make into a magic ball, but it could also be up to like 3/4 of a skein. You know, I opened it up, I used it for something, and then put it away. So that's why I've been using, what I'm going to show you now is using these scrap balls. And it might be like that for the next few videos. But the first one I made, I think you all know that I'm addicted to the linen stitch. And so I had all these little little pieces of yarn, and I made them into a magic ball. I think I took a picture of the magic ball. If I find it, I'll put it here. And I just made a hat. Now the linen stitch stretches this way, but not so much this way. So I can't even get this on my head. Honestly, let me try. Oh, it's tight. It's gonna give me a headache kind of thing. But it's really, really cute, right? I love it. I love it. And it's just scrap yarn, like little pieces. So this one will be donated. It's soft, it's buttery, it's all acrylic. I love it. I love it. So now I want to make a couple more like this, but maybe a little bigger. So that. Now the linen stitch, all you have to do in YouTube is type in linen stitch in the round, and there's a few videos, and you'll learn how to make this. It's really, really fun. I love it. I love the linen stitch. And then I came across this yarn. Now I can't remember what this yarn was. It was just a small ball, and I decided to make another Ross hat. And this is, I know it's a number 5 bulky, but look at this. Look at this. I love it so much, so much. This one obviously fits. Is that not adorable? I love it. So the Ross hat has become, like, I'm not proficient at knitting, but if I was gonna pick a comfort project for knitting, it would be the Ross hat. So awesome, awesome, awesome. So I did that, made that. Now I wish I knew what yarn this was because I love it so much. I can't remember what it was. I love it. Look at the colors. Look at that. Love it. It's green and brown and like a maroon color. So I made that. And then, so like I said, I opened up a box of scraps, and some of them were quite long. So I thought, okay, I could have to use them up. And I was talking to my father-in-law, and I asked him, would the old age home that he volunteers, well, he's not volunteering now because of COVID, but when it all opens up, I asked him, do you think that they'd be interested in taking more blankets? Probably more than I've ever donated, because we're not doing anything. I'm sitting and I'm crocheting, and you know, he said, absolutely. So in the next 6 months or so, you're gonna be seeing a lot of lap gowns. So the first one I'm gonna show you is, it's called the Modern Granny blanket from the Crochet Crowd. Now, let's see, here. I did not weave in the ends yet because I want to wash it, and then I'll weave in the ends after I wash it. So this is the Modern Granny. So basically, you start in the middle, and it's a rectangle. I just went as long as I thought would fit a wheelchair. And what I did was, I took one skein of Bernat Premium and I think purple, some sort of purple. And that was the yarn I held throughout the whole thing, except the last row. And then everything else is scraps. So small balls, big balls, I just held it. Every time I ran out of the scrap yarn, I would just attach another color to it and run it with the purple. And that's what I came up with. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a great, and then at the end, I changed. Here, I had a dark blue and like a dark purple, and over here I had red and blue. But everything else is just purple. It's great, eh? So I made that. That's the first one that's gonna be put aside for my father-in-law to take. I am working on other things now. I'm actually finally finding some time to, the house is not in 100% order, but that's okay. You know what, we got time, I'm not in a rush. The other house closes in a week, yay. And so hopefully I'll have even more time to craft. What else? I wanted to talk about the new year. I hope everyone is having a great new year so far. Our new year has been rough. We had someone fairly close to us pass, not COVID related, and he was pretty close to our age, so that's kind of like eye-opening. Yeah, it's been a rough start. But every year I try to pick a word to try to keep in my head for the next coming year. Last year it was me. That was the word, me. And for the most part I did well. I took myself into account much more often. Sometimes it's hard. Like you other mothers, anybody who's a mother knows, you know, you have a tendency to put others first, especially your children. And then now that our kids are gone, it's hard to train yourself to stop it, to put yourself first. I think I did a good job last year, so yeah. So I was thinking, what word could I use? And this past year has been rough, as you all know. And I've hit some roadblocks and I got frustrated and, you know, so I thought, I want to be, and I come out here, like every morning I look out, I have my coffee, I look out at the water. Mind you, half of it's frozen now, but I started thinking, I want to be like that water. I want to be fluid, and that's my word. Fluidity means it'll flow. It's natural course. And just like water, when you hit something, when water hits something like a rock or a branch or, you know, twigs or whatever, it'll either go over it, under it, around it, with very little frustration, I'm assuming. And that's how I want to be this year. So this year, my word is fluid. So I'm hoping that when I come across frustrations, that I kind of tone it down and figure out a way to go around it, you know, not let it block me so much. So that's my new word for this year. What else? Oh, I wanted to talk about Jennifer from Cinnamon Stitches. So this is my second or third time videotaping this, and every time I get to this point, I bawl, I start crying. So, and try not to do that now. I was watching her video the other day, and you know, I'm crocheting and I'm listening to her, and all of a sudden she started talking about me and Theta, and it made me cry. And I'm like, because what she was saying was the exact same things that I think of her. When I grow up, I want to be like Jennifer. Although Jennifer is much, much, much younger than I am. So anyway, I want to thank Jennifer for just being her. Like, Jennifer, I love you so much. You're such a joy. Anyway, what else? I hope, like I said, I hope everyone is, oh, which reminds me, I have a request. If you've got any ideas for scrap projects, let me know. Anything that you've done and that you think is a great use of you know, different lengths of yarn. That would be awesome, you know. And again, I think I mentioned this last year, I don't do resolutions. I really don't. I think that just opens me up for failure. But I think that this year I want to be much more conscious of the yarn that I purchase. I want to use my stash. When I had to pack it up and now unpack it, I realize it's ridiculous. It really is. Nobody, I know I'm gonna offend some people here, and I do apologize. I shouldn't have this much. I'm not gonna live long enough to use it all, so why am I keep purchasing stuff? So I'm not saying that I'm not gonna purchase yarn. I'm saying that I'm gonna try to consciously use the yarn that I have, and instead of being the better shopper than a crafter, I want to try to be a better crafter than a shopper, if that makes sense. Anyway, oh, you know what? I need to show you some happy mail that I received. Hold on a second. Where is it? Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. I know I'm all over the place today. I apologize. I think I showed this before. Michelle from Chelle Crochet made me these dishcloths, and so they were for the cottage. Like, so I show you. There's a couple here. Where's the other? There's a couple here. They're all very colorful and whatnot, but they're a decent size. And we have a table here that when you put something warm on it, it gets kind of cloudy, and I hate it. But anyway, so I just piled them on the middle of the table, and then what everybody's done, it's just hubby and I, and our youngest son was here. They started taking these and using them as placemats. But she made me 4, and there's a seating of 6 here at this table. And so I reached out, and we love them. We love them so much. Anyway, so I was looking for placemats online, and hubby comes in and he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm looking for placemats. I can't find anything that I like." And he says, "Well, just use these. These are great. They're beautiful. They're great. They do the job." And I'm like, "You're right." So we started using that, and it's great. And then I realized we only have 4. So I said to Michelle, I said, "What hook size did you use?" I texted her and I said, "What hook size?" Because I could make these, no problem. "What hook size did you use?" And she goes, and I explained to her why I needed to know. And she said, "I'll just make you some more." I'm like, no, I don't want you to do that. That's ridiculous. She goes, "Absolutely, I'm gonna do it." So yep, she did. She made me 4 more. And look at these. Look at these. This one I have to say is my favorite. It's that Grello, the yellow and gray. And I think when I opened it, and hubby came home yesterday, and he's like, "Wow, these are so nice. They're nicer than the ones that she made the first time." So anyway, now I have a set of 8, and they are perfect size for a placemat. You know, they just for your dish. You don't need it for anything else. Just to protect the table from the heat of the dish. Perfect. I love it. So I thank you, Michelle. That was awesome. And yeah, I've been waiting for stuff in the mail. I don't know where it is. And I think everybody's suffering from the same thing. Anyway, I think that's all I have for a catch up. Like I said, if you got any ideas on what I could make with, you know, odd balls of yarn, leave it down below or email me, and yeah, let me know. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go, but before I do, I actually want to say a special hi to Gracie. Hey Gracie, I want you to know that I'm in the same boat. I am in the same boat. She knows who she is. I don't want to give away her last name, but she knows who she is, and just want to say hey Gracie. Anyway, I hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend, and we will talk soon.